The Bread and Better podcast acknowledges the Yagara people and the Turrbal people as the traditional custodians of Meanjin, the lands on which we record today. We pay our respects to the Yagara and Turrbal elders, past, present, and emerging. This podcast is brought to you by Hey Al Productions.
Did I say good? Did I get you to do it one more time? Maybe just in case. Okay, do it one more time. Go. Bread and Better podcast. Okay. Bread and Better podcast. I feel like I am hung up. Bread and Better podcast. Welcome to the Bread and Better podcast. I'm one of your hosts, Tegan, and alongside Alex, I bring you weekly episodes chatting all things that affect us as women. From health and fitness, which is very much my domain, to mental health, interesting stories, and feminism, which is very much Alex's domain, and our topic for today. So for those that are new to the potty, I'm a personal trainer and a sports nutritionist with a passion for helping women love their bodies, their food, and their movement.
And I'm Alex, and yes, feminism and women's issues is my favourite thing to talk about. I am the other host of the show, but also the producer of the podcast. I am also a massive sports fan, and talking about the achievements of women in sport is always something that I'm very keen for, and what we're going to be talking about today. We are also lucky enough to be joined by a female athlete today, which I'm very excited about. So I am going to hand it over to Tegan to introduce her.
Where to start? So today we are welcoming Dorries to the podcast, or as I call her, Dad.
Or Daddy.
So we'll get to that in a minute. Kiali competes in competitive stand-up paddleboarding in both racing and surfing divisions. She has won state and national level comps and some international races in World Tour events. She has represented Australia at the World Championships where the team won gold as a country, but she's also a gun at basically all things physical in the water. I met Kiali through the girls surfing group that I go to on the Gold Coast on Fridays, which is called Club Shuckers. And if you are on the coast, you should totally come and join us. Since then, she's become my surf dad and one of my Gold Coast besties. So welcome to the pod, Kiali.
Gosh, thanks for having me, guys.
How's the intro?
I know.
Not bad.
I love it.
Do you want to know the daddy thing just to get there? How we got to dad?
Yeah.
Well, Kiali's a shameless flirt. And the first time I met her, I kind of thought that she was hitting on me. Yeah. But then we became friends, and she sent a picture of her wearing jeans and sneakers and said something about the dad look.
Yeah.
So I said, go off daddy.
Yeah.
And she said, I love it when you call me daddy. And I said, I knew you would. So then it stuck, and Kiali's got a hilarious video on her Insta of me and Taylor,
I watched that the other day.
Yeah, behind the camera being gigantic bogans while she was competing the other week. But then also she's just my surf dad because she's taught me like 90% of what I know about surfing, and she's just such a dad. Like, you'll paddle for a wave and you'll miss it, and she'll be like, "No, back you come."
Yeah. And yeah, I love all of
And you do a lot of dad jokes too.
I do a lot of dad jokes. I've rehearsed them before I see you sometimes.
Practicing in the car, like 5 a.m.
She's going to like this one.
Wait till I can work this out into combo.
Oh my God.
So we always kick off the podcast by talking about the best thing that we ate in the last week. And you're going to go first.
Mine was pizza from Francie's Jr.
Which
We've mentioned
I plug
Yeah.
it constantly.
Yeah.
We tried the square. We had heaps of pizza.
We had a few pizzas.
Yeah. It was fucking good.
I love pizza.
What flavour
Sometimes.
did you have?
What did I have? I had
We got that square boy that Matt said was bad, but
was
it's
orange.
actually good.
I just remember it being called the orange
The orange
pizza.
stripe.
It had a little bit of spice to it.
Yeah, and it's like a focaccia square pizza.
And it had like melted cheese on the sides.
It had like burrata.
Yeah.
Oh, like, yeah, they
you
called it a
love burrata.
Parmesan crown, where it's like crispy Parmesan on the sides.
Wait, you hate crispy cheese?
Yeah, that wasn't my favourite part of it.
That sounds
That was
delicious
my favourite
to me.
part of it.
Yeah.
No, I liked the white stretchy cheese on top.
The burrata was definitely a win.
I like the juxtaposition of the different
Yeah.
cheeses.
I love cheese.
Well, mine, and just to plug my own cooking, I made fresh gnocchi last week with pesto cream sauce from scratch. And I'm actually making it for dinner tonight again.
So excited.
For Kiali and Tay. But I haven't made fresh gnocchi in so long, and slaps. Alex hates it
Chef's
when I
kiss.
say things.
Slap.
She thinks
Slay.
it's cool, right?
Slays.
Slay.
Slays.
Slap's not cool.
It is.
What's cooler, slap or slay?
Neither.
I've-
Both of them can.
Sometimes I'll write the script and Alex will be like, I could not say that. Yeah, so mine was a gnocchi.
Yours was
a
a gnocchi,
gnocchi.
which you haven't made me gnocchi yet. I feel like
I like how
everyone
you
else
say
has
it
had your
right.
gnocchi.
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 Yeah, it's really, I've made it gluten-free before.
Yeah.
But it's a pain in the ass.
Okay, maybe you can make me
I can do it. I can do it. I can do it.
Oh, do you
do
make the
it.
gnocchi from
I can do
scratch?
it.
Yeah, she
Yeah.
really makes it. I've
Queen.
seen videos of you making it for all of
Dinner
our
and
other
a
friends.
show.
Your dad
because
tonight.
they're
No,
not celiac.
Your mum tonight.
I'm always
Your
mum.
mummy.
I didn't write anything for mine, but yesterday Kev and I went for a run and it started raining on the way home and I was starving and I thought this is like perfect bolognese weather. So I just got some like lean beef mince and did like a very basic bolognese. Normally mine's like full fancy with like bacon and I put salami and olives and it's amazing.
That sounds great.
It's really good.
So you don't make it like every bloke that's the only thing that they know
Yeah,
how to
yeah,
cook
yeah,
with,
yeah.
like a
Great
fucking
carrot.
Meat and sauce and spaghetti. Done.
meat, sauce, spaghetti.
Done.
If they're fancy, maybe an onion.
Maybe a bit of parmesan on top.
Yeah,
a bit
well,
of salt.
this was a very basic one with it was the mince and baby spinach, just like one of those Barilla sauces and cherry tomatoes, and it was bloody delicious.
Does it
Would you
slap?
say
It's I would say yes, it's slap. It's so unnatural coming out of my mouth.
you just gotta
slaps.
lean into it.
Yeah, once you start saying it a few times,
Just
you'll never
relax.
stop.
Relax into it. I'll try and slip it in. Hey, can we start by
Can we start the episode?
No. Can we start by, can you tell everyone what your name means? Because I love this.
So my name means crest of a wave in
Yeah.
Hawaiian. So basically I like had to be a surfer,
Yeah.
especially living on the Gold Coast. Like imagine if you lived like with Everest in your backyard, eventually you're going to have to hike it. So,
Yeah.
Wait, if Everest was in your backyard and your name was Mountain.
Yeah, something like that. Now, the
Yeah.
living in the Gold Coast part, you know,
Yeah.
and being, my dad grew up here, was born here, grew up here. My mum moved here from Sydney, so Northern Beaches girl, but, you know, Gold Coaster at heart.
Yeah.
And, crest of a wave. I think they just saw it in a book and went, that sounds about right.
Oh, it's beautiful.
So cool.
I love it. I love it. I love Hawaiian names. All right. So, Kiali, we are very excited to have you here today. Can you please tell us about how you got into stand-up paddleboarding?
Yeah, so it was about, how old am I now? I'm about 26 now, almost 27. So I think the first time I was about 11. I remember I was maybe just in high school. And down at Currumbin Alley, they were doing a come and try stand-up paddleboarding. There was a surf comp going on. Surf was massive, so it was like pushing all the way into the creek pretty much. And before that, we had done outrigger canoe paddling, like me and my dad and my mum, and surf lifesaving and like other kind of water sports. So we saw stand-up paddleboarding and we were like, oh, okay, this, you know, we can do this. We're ocean athletes, definitely. Hopped on it and I just fucking hated it instantly. I was falling off constantly. And I just, did not enjoy it at all. I was in the waves, to be fair. I didn't jump in the flat water straight away. And then, you know, as someone that's liked being good at sport, I just wasn't having a good time. And
Did you already surf at this point?
Yeah. So I already surfed, grew up surfing. My earliest memories were surfing and
How
getting smashed.
How old were you when you learned to surf?
Oh, that's the earliest memory I have, honestly.
I wish I learned when I was a kid. I'd be so
Same.
much better.
Yeah. It's definitely a sport you got to do when you're young if you want to be good at it, but it's never too late to start.
Yeah.
Never too late to start. You gotta
Unless
be
you want to be a
consistent.
professional.
It's got to be consistent.
Yeah.
And then, pretty much from the moment I hated it to the moment I did my first race, I can't actually remember the period where I ended up liking it.
Yeah.
But it was just, all right, I'm racing now.
Yeah.
And then I think 2 years later I went international for competitions and
Oh, my God.
yeah.
So do you like it?
Oh, it's kind of okay. I like it now. Yeah, definitely like it now.
Wow. That's cool.
So just what we were talking about before, you are a professional stand-up paddleboarder. What does that entail?
I use the word professional very lightly. You know, if you think professional athletes, you think they're getting paid to do what they do. They're getting sent all around the world to compete. Stand-up paddleboarding is obviously a massive sport, leisurely. You know what it is. Everyone knows what it is. The instant thing people do when I say I do stand-up paddleboarding is they go, oh, like this.
Yeah.
Every single time. You just did it before as well.
Yeah.
People do that every time when I say I do stand-up paddleboarding. But basically I've competed in state competitions. It's the same as any sport. There's state competitions, national competitions, which you have to qualify through states to get into. And then the World Championships, there's a few World Championships now. that's a story for another day. And yeah, you have to qualify nationals to get into that. And then, yeah, just like always competing at local clubs and things like that.
But there's like different races, right? So we
Yes.
watched you last weekend. Was that last weekend? The weekend before?
A couple weekends ago.
On the waves,
Yeah.
and you had to do like turns
Yeah.
and like walk out to the end of the board and
Yeah.
walk back. But then there's races for like kilometres.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. So there's different types of stand-up paddleboarding. So what Tegs watched last week or a couple weekends ago was stand-up paddleboard surfing, which is the exact same as a normal surfing comp. You do your heat, your semi, quarters if there's enough people, finals, you get 10 waves, you get scored on your best 2 waves. That one specifically was longboard stand-up paddleboard surfing. So in normal shortboard surfing, longboarding is classified as a 9-foot board or longer. In stand-up paddleboarding, it's currently 10 foot or longer. So it's a mix between, like nose riding and drop kneeing and, turns and stuff. And then there's normal shortboard SUP surfing, which is just any board length really that you want to use. So I use like a 7'4".
Yeah.
Kilometre racing, so we've got a few different types. Technical racing is my absolute favourite.
Yeah.
So that's kind of come off the back of Ironman racing, where you go in and out through the surf and you'll do like a little like an M-shaped course in the surf, and you'll come in and you'll do a little run and do it all again like 3 or 4 times, maybe, but anywhere from 4 to 6 kilometres is the average length. Those are the most fun because if you come in first, all it takes is a shit wave and then you come in last. Other than that, there's distance racing, which is a broad term. Distance can be out in the ocean. We call them downwinders. So you go with the ocean swell and you actually kind of like surf the swell. So it's really fast, it's really fun. And then you can just do like flat water paddling. And that's pretty much any length. Like in races here, it averages anything from 14 to 21 kilometres.
Oh, wow.
But there's multiple city races. So there's a race called 11 cities. So you do a few days and you actually paddle through 11 cities. It's like a couple hundred kilometres.
Wow.
Yeah. Kiali can paddleboard faster than she can run.
Yeah, it's
Really?
fucked. It's stupid. I hate running so much.
Yeah,
But
fair.
I can paddleboard faster
So is that faster like on a wave or just faster on flat water?
in flat water.
Jesus
Yeah.
Christ. How fast can you go?
Oh, I actually haven't paddled flat water in a while, but I think I can average like anywhere from 5.5 minutes to 6 minute kilometres. And
Jesus
I'm not a fast
Christ.
runner at all. I couldn't
I
maintain
can run
that.
a little bit faster than that, but
That's much faster than I can run.
Yeah.
not many people can run that fast.
That
I
is
definitely
wild.
can't maintain that for
Yeah,
10
no.
kilometres.
No.
But yeah, that's pretty much racing.
Yeah, wow.
And surfing, stand-up paddleboarding.
I guess when I think of racing, until I saw the video of you racing, I would just think of like the paddling on the
Like the
Yeah.
leisurely paddling.
Yeah, or like paddling really fast would be a race. So
Someone said to me like, how does she catch waves with a paddle?
yeah,
A lot
like,
easier than
yeah.
paddling with your arms.
Yeah, it makes
Wow.
sense.
Yeah.
Is the rate of injury sort of the same as surfing, or is it more dangerous because you've got a paddle in your hand?
That big wave paddleboarding.
Yeah, there's big wave paddleboarding. Yeah, I guess it depends. If you're a competent surfer, like you're not falling on your gear or anything like that, usually
Yeah.
it's like you've probably got more shoulder injuries than anything. A lot
Yeah.
of people who injure their knees will take on stand-up paddleboarding because
Yeah.
they don't have to pop up any longer, and that's probably the issue with knees and surfing.
Yeah.
That makes sense.
Yeah, totally. Okay, this is the part I'm excited to get into. Can you tell us what it's like being a female in the SUP community?
Yeah, it's good. It's definitely not as bad as other sports and the way that females are treated in other sports. Still being a smaller sport, it's just you don't really get that hate or like the media on it. I'm a very outspoken person, as Tegs will know.
Yeah.
Especially when it comes to women in sport. So if I don't agree with something that's happening in a race that's specifically around that topic, then I'll make it very known.
Yeah.
But yeah, we've had issues over the years. When I was a bit younger, it's a lot better now, but with prize money.
Yeah.
I remember doing a race. I won the women's racing, and the guy who got maybe 4th or 5th, who I beat, he got more prize money than I did.
What?
Yeah. So we're only talking a couple $100 here, but still
No, it
it's
still matters.
it's the principle of it.
What
And
was
yeah.
their reasoning for that?
Well, the race was a brutal race. We had like this hectic headwind, and I was actually the only woman that finished.
Yeah.
So a lot of the women pulled out, a lot of the men pulled out too. So they classified it for that. Like there was no other women competing technically.
Yeah.
Even though they all paid their
you
entry
should have
fee.
got all the prizes.
Yeah, all the fucking prize money.
Right?
Yeah. Apparently there was
Win
like
the big dog.
yeah. Apparently there were bylaws that if like a certain amount of women enter or don't finish the race, then the prize money gets lowered. Even so, originally it was like an X amount of prize money, and because no one finished, it like halved.
That's not fair at
Yeah,
all.
they took prize money away from that race very quickly.
Yeah.
In general, so no one got anything any other year, and they actually don't run that race anymore. When I was like 16, you know, I'd been competing pretty competitively for about 5 years from then. My mum was also competing at the same level as I was, and she'll tell you that she taught me everything I know, which is kind of true. It took me a long time to start beating my mum. But yeah, we started running women's sessions, which were for pretty much any woman that could already paddle and just wanted to get better at paddling.
Yeah.
And we got not heaps, but just a few guys in the comments saying that it was sexist because men weren't included.
Oh, God.
But we were the only people running women's only sessions. Like there was multiple, usually men coaches out there doing women and men together.
Yeah.
So I just wanted to target that demographic of women who like, you know, didn't really want to have guys around them. Like, 'cause, you know, they want to do better and stuff. So they just want to have a comfortable environment.
Yeah.
And yeah, also I was like 16 years old. Why do you want to get coached by me if you're a grown man?
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
It's a weird one.
That is weird.
Yeah. But like not to say like the women also sometimes can be a bit funny.
Yeah.
I remember when I started competing in the men's divisions, or I just got stand-up paddleboarding, this is in surfing too, in stand-up paddleboard surfing. Not heaps of women in Australia were doing it. It was much bigger on the racing side. And I asked if I could compete in the men's division just to simply have another surf.
Yeah.
Because a lot of the women I was competing against were in their 40s and 50s. So they were competing in the 40s and 50s age groups plus the opens.
Yeah.
But I only had opens. And this is all on Facebook comments. And yeah, I asked if I could, you know, pay the entry fee, compete against the men. I was not going to make it to the finals, but it was just the opportunity to surf again.
Yeah.
And yeah, a few of the women just thought like, you know, oh, we're not good enough to surf against. And, you know,
Wanted to surf against
I just want to
people your
surf
own
again.
age.
Yeah, exactly. And that was men, unfortunately, in my own age, but also.
Yeah.
Did any of the men have an issue with it?
No. And, you know, Tees came to my comp the other week and I did surf against the men.
Yeah.
And
Made
yeah,
the finals?
they loved it. Yeah, actually beat all the men up until my finals.
Well done.
And then I just cooked it in the finals, as you do.
Pretty rough conditions.
It was pretty rough conditions. I was cooked.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
All right, so a recent study of Australian media showed of all the sports news stories between 2022 and 2023, 81% were about men's sports and only 15% about women's. Do you find that women get less coverage in SUP as well?
Yeah, definitely. Again, not as bad as other sports as, you know, with the statistics out there. In surfing comps, the men are always, their finals are always last.
Yeah.
I've noticed that that's because they want them to wear their jersey, their colour, and it's got like the sponsors all over and stuff. So the photo looks really good with all the men in their coloured jersey with the sponsors being shown off. And in those comps as well, I remember coming in from the women's final and asking the photographer like a few days later, like, hey, there's no women's photos up. Like, where can I get some photos for the girls? And he's like, oh, sorry, I had to go prepare for the men's. Yeah, I had to like, you know, do whatever they have to do. And it's like, sweet. So I just paid anywhere up to $200 for nothing pretty much. Like, no prize money. And you expect a few photos at least.
Yeah.
And get nothing out of it. Yeah, watching live streams as well in the long distance races. This is a consistent thing actually, and that still happens. There will be just one commentator who'll jump on the boat and live stream the whole time.
Yeah.
And they always stay at the front with the men. Yeah, so men and women race together.
Yeah.
Just easier on time. And yeah, they'll just stay up with the men the whole time. And it gets to the point where it's boring to watch though. You're just like, sweet. Usually it's one guy leading the pack and you're just watching him the whole time.
Yeah.
And yeah, I remember like seeing like the comments come up in the video being like, can you go back to the women? Like,
Yeah, show us something else.
yeah. And then pretty much they finish the race and that's the only time you see them is when they're crossing the finish line. But the women, you know, they have just as good as a battle as the men because a lot of the women are in the same skill level.
Yeah.
So it'd be cool to watch, but yeah.
That's so disappointing. And like with you saying that they that they do the men last because of like it obviously looks good with all their jerseys and stuff. Do you feel like that's because in their view, in such like a sexist way, the men's the big finale?
Yeah.
Like that's what everyone's staying for. That's what's keeping your viewership there, which is just ridiculous.
Yeah, definitely. Well, back in the day, I can't remember what the movie's called. I think it's called Girls Can't Surf.
Yeah. It's brilliant.
Yeah. And they were saying like when they were competing, they would put the girls in like the shittest conditions. So and like move them around in their scheduling just so the men could have the best time of the day.
Yeah.
We don't really do that. You know, that's pretty hectic and shit.
Yeah.
But yeah, just having the men at the end of the day, they get all the glory for sure.
I feel like it's the same at the Australian Open, right? They've got the men's singles last, which I just thought of then.
That is true,
It is,
You'll start noticing it in most sports now in singles.
Yeah. And in the Brisbane International, I mean, I'll have to check this, but I'm so sure that they had the women's during the day and then the men's at night when everyone's watching.
Yeah, and with the soccer and stuff.
Yeah.
And any women's sport is usually at 3 o'clock, 4 o'clock.
Yeah.
And then you put the men on at 6, 7. Yeah.
Yeah.
And then my own personal experiences with sponsors, I was winning races and my teammates were maybe coming, 4th or 5th, but not getting a podium finish. And they were getting more social media coverage with our sponsors, or they were getting more free gear. So that was always a bit of a shit feeling.
Yeah, that's so unfair. So these are your male teammates on the same sponsors. They're all getting more.
So they definitely beat me. That's a given. But they're not winning. They're not even getting a podium in their divisions. Yeah. And just getting more from sponsors and stuff. And I really do try and promote my sponsors and push it a lot. Yeah. And I find that I was always doing that too, and my male teammates were just not, and they're still getting more just simply because they're a guy and they do better tricks in the surf or they're faster.
Oh, and because their races are at the end.
Yeah.
Exactly. They're getting more visibility.
Yeah, more photos.
They're getting photos.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, it's such a cycle.
Yeah. What advice would you have for women and girls wanting to become a professional athlete?
The main one, I think, is always just to believe in yourself and never let anyone tell you can't do something. Having a plan is a big one, and I wish I had done this, but I was also quite young when I started my sport and it was still new to Australia, so there wasn't a big support system around. Sometimes I think if I had gone back and had a bit more of a plan, I would have been a better paddler earlier on than compared to being a good paddler now. A big one is surrounding yourself with supportive people, and this is something I've said for a long time, is that I'd rather come last and have all my friends cheering me on in a race and all my teammates just stoked that you finished than come first and have everyone kind of be like, I don't even care about you.
Yeah.
And then also just to have fun, stand-up paddleboarding for me isn't just my sport. I love it. It's fun. I take the girls out surfing and I'll go paddleboarding at the same time, or if I want to just do something on my own, I'll go surfing on my own or go for a paddle up and down the creek.
Yeah.
It's a bit therapeutic and a bit of a getaway from the rest of life. So it's just not seeing sport as, the sole purpose of your life and the drasticness behind it, I guess you could say.
Yeah. I put this question in here because I want to ask for my own. So Magnolia, my daughter, is really into gymnastics.
Yeah, cool.
And she's built for it. Yeah. She's short. She's a tank and she's very good at it. And she's just started in the competitive team. And I often get, I'll be talking to people and they think it's funny that I take it so seriously because for her, she started when she was 2. So if someone's kind of spotted her and thinks that she has potential, if she could go to the Olympics, then I'm going to do everything humanly possible to get her there.
That's awesome, yeah.
And then
providing she wants to go.
Yeah. So this is my thing. If you wanted to give up as a kid, what would you have wanted your parents to do?
So no, I never wanted to give up. There was definitely times where it was getting hard. It's awesome that you're such a great mother for Magnolia. Having a strong parental figure and supportive in sport is, I think, literally what can make or break a child athlete. I don't want to say I didn't have the best time growing up, but in terms of the sport.
Yeah.
But it was definitely hard. My dad was a professional athlete as well when he was young, and he was a great athlete.
Yeah.
But he was my coach as well, so that we'd kind of blurred the lines of dad and coach.
Yeah.
So, yeah, there were definitely times where, it's the 4:30 a.m. wake-ups. If I didn't want to get up, they were met with ice water. Rather than just, okay, have a sleep in. You're going to school, you're working part-time, you're all good. Just have a sleep in.
Yeah.
So I think just having that support system, if you do want to give up a sport when you're young, your parents just say, okay, well, is there anything else you want to do? Do you want to just back off a little bit? Because I wish I had done gymnastics growing up.
Yeah.
It looks so cool.
I think just my experience in playing not professional but a lot of sport, I think you will know if there is a difference between her having normal, kid not liking for something this week or not wanting to get out of bed. And like, I remember my mum pushing me and being like, nah, swimming training's happening.
Yeah.
Like, we've got to go.
Yeah.
To her being genuinely unhappy in the
Yeah.
sport and you pushing
Oh,
your
for sure.
agenda.
I think I would
I think
definitely
you'll
be
know.
able to tell.
I think you'll know in your
Yeah,
intuition.
I just would
I think
never
it's just not
want
being
her
negative
to-
about it.
Yeah.
Like if you're like, hey, like let's zoom on, you're good at this. Like let's go.
Yeah, let's
rather than
give it another go.
come on, like paddle.
Yeah.
You
I
also
mean,
like
paddle.
obviously at the end of the day, her happiness is going to be the most important thing. And even if she has the potential to go all the way, you don't want her to hate it. Like what's that
God,
tennis
no.
player that came out and said he just fucking hates tennis?
Oh, there's a lot of them, but was it Andre Agassi? His dad like fully pressured him to do it. But yeah, I definitely will go off what she wants. But I think it's also if you can identify that personality trait in someone and you know that they're going to be an athlete. Like the other day, she did a round off and she landed, like she did not land well and she didn't do her little, hand things. And her teacher was like, come on, Magnolia, she's like, do it again. Like, you didn't do that properly. And like, I feel like if I was like, I would have cried when I was a kid. I did not take criticism well, but Magnolia clocks her and she's like, all right.
Yeah.
And like goes
so that's
back.
so good though.
Yeah.
I was the opposite. Like it wasn't a supportive, like I remember being out in the water at, 5 a.m. in the morning in winter and it's like, you're not paddling as fast as you are. And it's like, and I was getting pushed in the water if I wasn't getting, I wasn't like at the front of the pack. And like only like 13 years old.
Yeah.
Which I remember actually when that happened, I literally paddled back and walked home because I was like, fuck this. I think a lot of people and parents think, if I'm tough on them, that'll make them, like, oh, well, fuck you. I'm going to be the best athlete there is.
Yeah.
Did the
but
opposite
no.
for me.
Yeah.
And I think it just depends on how strong-willed you are. Like you want to do something by yourself, like you're going to do it.
Yeah.
You don't, like having a good support system around you is always going to be beneficial.
It's probably good that I'm terrible at all sports. So I just really, admire that she's good at it. And I want
that's
her to-
awesome.
Oh, that's good. That's such good advice. Thank you.
Yeah, no, it sounds like you're doing everything right.
Thanks. That makes me feel good.
So we've already touched on this a little bit, but is there a gender pay gap in SUP and is the prize money different, which you were just kind of talking about?
Yeah, in the early days of SUP, when it was booming, there was a fair bit of prize money around. A lot of the time women were doing less than men, so it was almost accepted that the prize money was going to be less. So they would be doing like a 12K race, for example, and the men would be doing a 15K race. Or in a technical race, they'd be doing 4 laps and the men would be doing 5, something along those lines. So there was always going to be less. Eventually the races started to change and everyone just did the same thing because to do 2 different races, it was too time consuming. And a few women started beating the men and actually coming first overall. Those girls are like Annabelle Anderson, Candice Appleby, and we've got some Aussies like Carla Gilbert. She's one of the best iron women in the world, and Tareen Black. And yeah, they were beating sometimes the entirety of the men's field. And then off the back of other sports like WSL and tennis, when they started doing equal prize money, I think, and obviously everything was televised and on social media, and it was really negative to have that in women's sport, to have less prize money for doing the exact same thing. Yeah, there's always the argument like, there's less women doing it, but we have less entries.
And
so the men will
more
get
women
20.
would do it if there was more prize
Exactly.
money.
Yeah.
Which, we've talked about that before,
100%. Like I think in surfing, I'm not too confident, but in my sport, for example, there'll be 20 entries open for women, but there'll be 40 for men.
Yeah.
So the men's spots are going to fill up no matter what, and as are the women's. So that's a kind of excuse being used as well. If there's a competition that it's not equal prize money, I'll make it very public.
Yeah, good.
Yeah.
Good on you. So now we talked about this before a little bit off air. So I know from stalking you on LinkedIn that you are the marketing manager for the Australian Professional Pickleball League and Tour. I just love this. Kev and I love pickleball. It's so entertaining, and we are just like, Kev and I really love, this is so random, Florida, like the whole panhandle, and like it's a whole thing.
And pickleball's big there?
And pickleball
is big there.
Because it's a retirement. It
Oh,
started.
there's a pickleball court where my mum lives in over 55.
Well, that's what it started, right?
that's
As
how it
like for
started.
retirees.
Yeah.
A lot of my like friends' retired parents play it. But anyway, so my question is, so I've seen Adam Scott, Steve Smith, Patty Mills, they've all bought teams. Which
Steve Smith, the cricketer?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. They've all bought teams. I also saw Natalie Cook is one of my all-time heroes.
Yeah.
She came and spoke at our school when I was in year 11.
Yeah,
and
she's the best.
I'm obsessed with her.
Yeah.
Oh, have you met her?
Yeah, a few times now. So she's
my
like
God.
a 7-time Olympian or something ridiculous for beach volleyball.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you know? Surely you know who she is.
No, I do. I was like trying to put that together in my brain.
Yeah.
What sport she was.
Yeah, she's just fantastic.
Yeah.
It was one of the most motivational things I've ever experienced when she came to my school. And we used to get a lot of really good speakers, but she was brilliant.
We only got NRL players.
Yeah,
We had the Veronicas.
Did you?
Yeah.
Ah.
That's probably where the gainer started, let's be real. Oh, fuck. Seen the Veronicas. Yeah.
That was the moment.
moment.
That's so funny.
Yeah, we had a few footballers, and we had Dr. Carl, that was
Dr.
very
Carl.
cool. We had Dr. Carl, yeah, that was sick. So Natalie Cook, so I saw that she is on the board and also owns a stake in the Gold Coast team.
Yeah, Gold Coast Glory.
So do you know if there's any other female team owners?
Just Nat at this stage. We're still kind of new to the sport, like in Australia, pickleball is still kind of new, especially the tour and the league. So I work for PPA and MLP. PPA is the professional pickleball tour, so like for athletes. So anyone can come and play. We also have like a futures division, which is like, we could play in that.
Yeah.
And then to play in the pros or the opens, you have to have a specific rating. Like hopefully I'm not getting any of this information wrong. And then we have masters, which is 50 plus. So we still include them in our competitions.
Yeah.
And then the MLP is Major League Pickleball, and that is the teams. So all the pro athletes, or majority of the pro athletes, all play in a team. Very similar to like baseball. They get drafted for a team. There's a team captain that drafts them every season. That their teams will change except for the captain. We only started PPA in 2023, started 2023. Wow. So it's only been going for about a year and a half. Last year's prize money for the tour and the league was like $100,000, I think, for the year.
Yeah.
In 2024, it's $700,000.
Oh, wow.
So like massive, massive growth.
Yeah.
And then we're partnered in with PPA in the USA, which is based out of Dallas, which is probably where pickleball is the biggest for the professional side of things and the competitive side of pickleball.
Yeah.
And then Major League Pickleball is also a separate company in America. I think they're partnered in, but we run both of those. Yeah, so it's definitely massive.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah, and the MLP, so the Major League Pickleball, that's the teams. In the USA, there's like massive names that own the teams, like Nick Kyrgios and Naomi Osaka, and like you've got your celebrities too, like Ava Longoria.
Oh,
Got to say that in Spanish.
I didn't know
accent.
she had one. That's cool.
Yeah, Heidi Klum, that's a big one.
What?
Yeah.
So random.
Yeah, and Kate Upton, you may remember her from that,
love
like
her.
the Other Woman movie.
Yeah.
I had to double check that last night because I was like, I know this girl from somewhere.
she's good.
And then, like Tom Brady, obviously like the best football player of all time.
Of all time, yeah. Of course
Roast
he
of
would
Tom
have one.
Brady was one of the recent watches.
I haven't watched that yet.
It's pretty funny.
Yeah.
Kevin Durant, heaps of basketball players,
Wow.
golf players. Yeah, it's massive in America. I think the majority of the teams are valued at like $10 million now.
Holy shit.
Yeah.
Cool. It's really like going off.
Yeah. Yeah. So if anyone wants to get involved in pickleball,
Well, as
sponsorship,
you're
let me know.
saying this, I'm like, maybe this is my chance to become an athlete.
Could be.
maybe.
You never
Do you
know.
know, on Sunday I'm competing in like a mother-son tennis tournament
That's
with
so
Oscar.
cool.
How are you? Do you have a tennis racket?
No, but my mum's going to lend me one. Oscar does tennis, and so like we kind of all the parents got invited, and I think we'll see how we go. Oscar's pretty good, but I think I'm going to let him down.
Hopefully he carries the team.
Yeah.
Well, a lot of
We'll see. I'll
a
report back.
I'm shit at tennis.
No.
lot of the pro pickleball players are ex-tennis players or even table tennis players. Because pickleball, it's a heap of money.
Yeah.
You know? Like the American comps, I think, are on like the $5 million mark for prize money.
Wow.
So yeah, there's it's a lot of potential in the sport. So yeah, we'll have to just see what the rest of the year holds in 2025. We haven't sold all the teams yet.
Yeah.
And we still run all the teams as well. So like I run all the social medias and stuff like that too.
Cool.
But in America, they're like one of my favorite teams is like the Orlando Squeeze, just because I love their branding.
Yeah.
But that's like a whole company in its own
Really?
thing. Yeah.
How much is it to buy a team? This sounds like a good investment.
I'm actually not too sure. Yeah. It's changing all the
This is
time.
my idea,
because,
everyone
it's
go away.
massive.
Passive income.
Yeah, because the teams
Right.
win money as well. That $700,000 a year is split between the tour, which is the professional tour, and then the league, which is the teams.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I'm excited to see what next year
Yeah.
kind of holds because we're following suit with America very quickly.
Yeah.
A lot of our players go over and play in America.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
So cool.
Yeah, one of our top players actually, his name's Mitch Hargreaves. He is the body double for Ryan Gosling.
Oh,
Yeah, just fun fact. I found that out the other day.
I saw him at was he at the premiere of
Fall Guy?
Yes, Fall Guy. Yeah. He did that cool stunt.
Yeah, he's funny. Yeah. And then like Macklemore, the rapper, singer, whatever you want to call him.
Yeah.
He loves it. We actually had his trombonist come and play with us when we had our last competition in Brisbane.
That's so cool.
Yeah, it's really, really cool. Yeah.
Wow, that's awesome. So as I was just saying, it looks like pickleball is going to explode in Australia. And I feel like just from like what I've read and from following it a bit, it's a really good opportunity to introduce a sport with more opportunity, like equal opportunity for women, equal pay, equal coverage. Like, do you think that might be the case?
Definitely. Like that's something that we're already doing. So like pickleball is considered the fastest growing sport in America.
Yeah.
Maybe even the world. And yeah, it's so big in how big it's gotten. It's so cool in how big it's gotten in the last year and a half here. Like one day I would love to co-own a team. You know. It's a possibility one day. Hopefully I do my job really well. And I actually made sure in my interview for the role that it was equal prize money for the men and the women, and it is, which is awesome. And our number one player, like overall over everyone, her name's Rose van Rijk. She's from the Netherlands, I believe. But yeah, she's like the number one player in Australia.
Wow.
She's only had one loss in all the games this year.
Oh my God.
So she's doing really, really well.
Cool.
Yeah.
That's exciting.
So Alex is always very excited to chat sports stories with me. So this is the thing with me in sports. I like doing sports.
Yeah, you don't like talking about them.
I watched the Lions game. I went to the women's AFL. I don't watch a lot of sports. I like just doing sports.
Yeah.
But then you always talk to me about sports stuff and I don't know what you're talking about.
Because I love sport. I don't like doing sport.
Talk to Kiali, but not about football.
Yeah, I don't know fuck all about football. Hey.
I didn't know if you knew that.
NFL or NRL?
Anything with a ball that's not basketball.
I very much
basketball.
dislike. You like
Yeah,
basketball?
I love basketball.
Okay, good, because that's what we're doing.
Yeah.
I'm going to talk about Caitlin Clark.
I love Caitlin Clark.
I love her. I'm obsessed.
She is the best.
She is possibly the best
basketball player.
Female. One of the best.
I
one
would
of the
confidently
best
say the best basketball player with her stats.
She's incredible. So she's just gone professional this year after
College?
College.
She finished college? Okay, cool.
So she had the option to go back and do another year of college because she was she went through COVID, but she obviously chose to go professional.
Well, the fact that she went to college in the first place, but it's good to have a backup plan.
It is.
Especially in sports like that.
So Caitlin Clark was drafted number 1 by the Indiana Fever on the 15th of April. So her salary is $76,000 a year. US. Yes, as the number 1 draft pick. So she's been the main driver for the dramatic uptake in women's basketball interest with her mix of deep 3-point shots, flashy thread-the-needle passes and overall court presence. A women's basketball record of 18.9 million viewers watched Iowa's loss to South Carolina. So South Carolina is one of the other best college teams as well in the NCAA title game, and the WNBA record is 2.45 million watched the draft.
Wow.
So this is all, there's other amazing players. I don't want to discount any of them. But
there's Caitlin Clark. She's the number 1 draft pick.
She's brilliant.
And she's not even been doing it for that long.
No.
And when she started playing in college and stuff and before college, she was everything she did was good.
Yeah.
It was insane.
Yeah. She's a freak. So if we look at her comparison, so I understand the nuances of her pay, and that kind of like we were saying before, the WNBA doesn't have as many viewers and it is a percentage compared to the NBA. But $76,000 is a joke.
Yeah, that is a joke. I think the men are just wildly overpaid.
Wildly. So Clark's salary, so she's the WNBA rookie, the NBA's top rookie, is $55 million.
Wow.
Yeah. So
just chuck her a lazy meal.
Literally.
Yeah.
A lazy meal would have been great.
Yeah.
They get widely overpaid, men in sport, in American sports specifically.
Yeah.
American, they're it doesn't compare to Australia, hey? The American sports are just fucking wild.
It's insane, the money in American sports. So the WNBA players' median salary of $78,000 is just 2% of the NBA counterparts.
Pretty sure the refs get paid more than her.
100%. So there was a stat in here that said that a male dentist will make more than her in 1 year than she will make in 4 years in America for doing what she's doing. But she did just sign a $28 million Nike deal.
Yeah,
so
see,
that helps.
That's great, but also it comes down to your salary, not your endorsements.
Exactly. And like, what are the guys getting on like their
What are they
salary?
getting in
And then they're
endorsements?
getting the massive endorsements as well. So I kind of just wanted to include Caitlin Clark in here because I'm obsessed with her.
I love Caitlin Clark.
And did you see the recent thing where they were being interviewed after a game and that reporter, did you see the heart thing that he did?
No.
So when she plays, she does the, hand heart symbol
when she
to
scores
her,
goals,
to her family. And he was the first question and he said, oh, wait, let me just do this to you first, and like did the little heart to her, and she's like, oh, you like that? And he was like, yeah. And she's like, yeah, I do that to my family, blah, blah, blah. And then he goes, will you do that for me and we'll get along just fine? Like this is what he said. His opportunity to interview the number one basketball. Like, ew, that's gross.
Yeah. Was he an old man as well?
Yeah, and his response, because I think he's banned. I'll have to check this, but I'm pretty sure he's banned from their games for a while. But his response was, oh, my words were clumsy. Like, ew, she's a young girl, dude. Like,
yeah,
it's just icky.
That's that, like, that men just don't, especially older men, just like don't see the other side of it.
Yeah.
Like they just think, well, they don't think, that's the problem. They just don't think, they don't see the world has changed as much as it has.
Exactly.
And they think the way they spoke 40 years ago is still okay.
Yeah, and she looks so uncomfortable. I'll send you we'll post it because it's so awkward.
I think my first thing, like I always when she started getting good, like it was really cool to see. The main thing I've seen of her was when she was in college that a bunch of guys, maybe like 20 guys with their girlfriends all came to watch her play.
Yeah.
And all they did was boo her the whole time.
Yeah.
There's a video out there of it. And then, that might fuck with a lot of athletes, especially on courts like that where all you can hear is booing.
Yeah.
It didn't for her. She didn't miss a shot.
She's like
and then you
out.
can see the videos of them going, fuck.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like,
yeah.
Yeah. And the girlfriends too, which was really upsetting to see. That shows how much men influence women in their circles.
Yeah.
So
the other thing, like she's having such an influence that other teams are having to move to bigger stadiums when she comes to town.
Yeah.
Because that's how many people
She
are wanting
sells
to
out
watch
tickets.
her. She sells out so many tickets. So she's doing amazing things.
I would die to watch her play.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely.
Quick trip.
Let's go. Okay, so next one. The Matildas, speaking about crowds, the Matildas' upcoming matches against China have sold out, marking 14 consecutive sold-out home games for the Matildas with overall attendance of 600,000 people. So the upcoming games have generated over $4 million in ticket revenue for Football Australia over just 4 days.
Isn't there something coming up where there's football in Australia and the girls are the headliners?
Like
it's always
NFL football?
No,
soccer.
Soccer.
Yeah.
That's another thing.
Oh, yeah. Like I was literally talking to Kev the other day about this and I was talking about soccer and I said something about the men's team and I was like, what are they called? He goes, I don't know. Who cares?
Yeah.
Love.
Literally, who
Literally
cares?
no idea. It's all about the Matildas.
It's all about the Matildas.
I was at the shops this morning actually and there was two little girls in Kerr jerseys and it was I just like had a little moment. I was like, that's so cute.
So we had a disco the other day at school and the theme was sports and sparkles and I was kind of just expecting a lot of the girls to be in sparkles. Most of the girls were in Matilda's jerseys.
That's so cool.
And I was like, yes, this is so good.
Yeah,
That's so good.
Yeah. So
it's
good
just
to
so
see.
positive.
Oh, it's just had the biggest, it gives me goosebumps. It's just had the biggest influence. So I love this story. So an under-12s girls football team in the UK have been called the Invincibles after winning a boys' soccer league. This little girl, Edith, has said, at first the boys underestimated us. They didn't take us seriously, but then we showed them if they can do it, so can we.
Go off, Edith. That's such a UK name.
Isn't it? What a little legend.
Edith.
So the Queen's Park ladies under 12s finished top of Division 3 of the Bournemouth, I'm going to butcher that, of the Bournemouth Youth Football League with 18 wins, 4 draws and no defeats.
Fuck yeah.
The girls.
So their
YTG.
their win has obviously made global headlines. So we're talking about it right now. So the team who hope to inspire young girls to get into soccer had to overcome initial resistance from country football organisers who told them that they would have to play in the girls' competition. But anyway, like you, they said
their way
no.
in. Yeah.
It's like a real time She's the Man.
Yeah, it is. Oh my God, I love that movie.
Such a great
Please
movie.
tell me you've seen that. Amanda Bynes.
Oh, come on. That is like
I know what it
it's
is,
the
but I
best
don't think I've
movie.
That's
seen
up
it.
there with like Herbie
stop
Fully
it.
Loaded with
Yes.
Lindsay Lohan.
Right.
Not the original Herbie Fully Loaded back in the friggin' 40s.
So good. Okay, another one. This one's very cute. So the New South Wales Blue won the inaugural and world first Little League Girls National Championship in Lismore.
Lismore.
Yeah. So a Baseball Australia spokesperson said they are forever the world's first team to win a national title in a girls-only Little League event. So the tournament is the first of its kind anywhere in the whole world. And a little Lismore team won it.
That's so cute.
It's so cute. So, Lismore is the first city in the world to host a national all-girls Little League competition. And the organisers hope that other countries will follow. It made me so proud. How cute is that?
That is cute. Do we have the time to do a few quick red light, green light?
Of course we do.
Credit to We Mean Well, the podcast. My whole TikTok is just them, and they are
Same.
so
I love
funny.
them so much.
Yeah.
They are so funny. So they do red light, green light. And one they actually did the other day. It was like brushing your teeth without wetting the toothbrush. And she was like, nah, just raw dog it.
Ew.
Yeah, it's weird,
sucks.
hey? I've never done
Makes
that.
me gag.
So controversial topic, where you stand on it, red light or green light?
Yeah. All right.
You can read this one because you put it in there. That's fucked up.
Okay. Clipping your toenails in the lounge room. Yes or no? Red light, green light.
Red, so red.
That's super red. I mean, if you live alone, fucking do what you do.
Okay,
Pick up
no.
after yourself, but red light.
All right, hear me out.
Nah.
So I don't sit there and just like clip my toenails, but when I'm gonna like paint my toenails and like do the whole thing, I don't want to sit in the cold bathroom and do it. So I will go out into the lounge room and take like a little like the baby wipes and everything, and then like lay it all out and have it. So I catch them all
No, but they
on
fly.
the floor.
Yeah.
No, I'm very careful.
Do you know
to
where I
catch
do
them.
mine?
Oh, like on the bath?
I either do mine over the balcony.
Oh, that's even worse.
Disgusting.
That's worse. You dug a hole
But
here.
mostly I do it over the toilet. Like I put my foot on the toilet.
And then you flush them down the
that's very
toilet?
silly.
Yeah, they flush
Your
it down the
foot's on
toilet.
Interesting.
I wash the toilet. Mate, look how clean my house is.
No, the toilet thing's fine. You stand on the. So what if someone's walking under the balcony?
I wouldn't do it if someone was walking
How do you
underneath.
know?
That'd be pretty funny though.
How do you know?
That reminds me of that scene out of American Pie where you
The pubes.
Yeah.
Oh, yes.
Where do you cut your toenails?
I actually don't cut my toenails. That's why I had a bit of a confusing opinion because I've got socks on.
Yours?
Oh, I used to bite my nails really badly.
You bite your toenails?
No, I don't bite my toenails. I've stopped biting my nails, so I've
Yeah.
started picking my toenails instead. So I just pull them off.
Mate,
They get too
I've
long.
done 4 marathons. You could not pick these toenails. They are thick.
Yeah, my nails are really weak.
I
though.
get ingrown
Mine are
toenails,
thick.
so I have to cut mine. I've had the ingrown toenail surgery.
I
though.
would say my toenails are at least 1 mil thick on my big toe.
I feel like this conversation is going to make some people feel ill.
Yeah.
That is
Definitely
so
don't bite
funny.
my
I love
toenails.
how you're like, ew, that's red light. I cut mine on the balcony.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but that's outside,
That's even
and the
worse.
wind
In a
takes it
communal
away.
space.
It's just like pebbles.
What if the wind? What if you cut it and it flies up and the wind comes and like smacks it into someone's
You know what that
face?
reminds me? I used to know a girl that at surf competitions, she'd sit there in a Brazilian little bikini because she was Brazilian.
Yeah.
And she'd get her tweezers
And pick her
tweeze
bikini
her
line.
bikini line hairs
Oh
out.
my God.
And it was so gross.
That's a confident person
yeah.
right there.
Good on her. Yeah.
Okay, so green light, red light, red light.
The lounge room, I just feel like they're going to fly around and someone's going to
No,
end
you
up with a
catch
toenail
them.
in their foot.
Well, at least they're not just walking under a balcony and getting it in their face like a
one's
stranger. At
doing
least it's going to
that.
be one of my kids. Okay, so next one. This one grinds my gears. Giving someone a wave of appreciation when they let you in.
In traffic.
Yeah.
Strong green.
Strong
You've
green.
got to do it.
But situational.
In what
Absolutely
situation would you
green.
not?
If it's a lane that's merging and it's got to have like, or two
Oh,
lanes
yeah,
that
no,
merge
you
into
don't need
one,
to
that's
wave
your
them
fucking
then.
lane as well.
I mean, like if
it's
you're-
a zipper line effect.
If someone
But if someone's done something to help, like if you're in the middle lane on the highway,
Yeah.
and someone and like you want to get in the fast lane, but it's like not really time, and someone like backs off to let you in, like fuck
Yeah.
yeah, go for
Yeah,
it. If you're
you've got
pulled
to.
out of a
I have
parking
to
space,
cross
for
four-
sure.
Yeah, I have to
Or
cross
what
4
about-
lanes to get to the kids to school. So every
Well, there
day
you
I
go.
have to sit
Yeah.
and wait for someone to give me a gap.
Do you know what grinds me is like when you're going down like a narrow street and someone's got to pull to the side and if you've pulled to the side to let someone through and they don't give
So
you
this is
away.
what I mean. 'Cause
literally. And then or someone like comes out from behind you
Yeah,
to
you're
like
like,
go.
give me away.
this is my thing because like at the moment there's always so much construction where I live, but at the moment there's at all times cars on either side and you have to let someone in. It's basically one way now. It happens so many times a day where like I will let someone go and they don't wave and it is just makes me
To be fair, I
rage.
don't think I expect it either.
I expect
But
it.
if I do it I always do it if someone's like gone out of their way to let me in. Yeah, I've also noticed now that I am on the back of a motorcycle a lot that they do it a lot all the time, like to other motorcycle riders and stuff.
Actually, what about when you're in the country? You have to.
You have to
wave
do
at
that on
everyone?
your steering wheel.
the one finger.
The one finger, a couple fingers.
Every car.
Yeah.
I don't do that.
Every car. I do
don't
it
do
to
that.
make a point.
yeah, it's like hello, I'm friendly.
Yeah. Especially the trucks that put their blinker on to let you go around them.
Yeah. You gotta,
That's cute.
You gotta
Love
do
that.
That's nice.
Sleigh trucks.
So
Offering for someone to go in front of you at the checkout when they only have a couple of things and you have a full trolley.
Yeah, green light for sure.
Depends on my mood.
Again,
depends on my
half the
mood
time
and
I've
where
got
I'm
earphones
going.
in a hat on when I'm doing groceries, so I don't know who's around me.
yeah.
I don't think it should be expected.
No, I don't think
I
it should
don't
be
think it's
expected, but it's a
expected.
full
Not my
green
fault
light.
that I do. It's not my fault that I'm organised and I do my shopping in one hit and you're ducking in and out to grab two things all the time. Not my problem. Have better time management.
But if I do a full shop,
I'm actually gonna say red light. It should not be expected. But
Not
if
expected.
If I wish to, I might.
I
There's a system. Rules are there to keep us safe.
if you've got a full trolley, go through the checkouts. But if you've got a little things, go through the self checkouts.
Yeah.
That's my opinion.
I think I'm gonna say
I think it's
I'm gonna
encouraged.
say red light because like I think it's nice to do if you're that way inclined and I appreciate if people do it for me. But I'm also more inclined to be, oh no, it's okay. Like I'm fine.
Yeah, no,
I
I'm
wouldn't
fine.
take it.
Yeah.
I'm not in a rush.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it depends. If I'm there with my 4 kids,
It was a cute
My
little
fault.
old
You
lady.
need
If
to
I go
get
with my
through
3
as quick as
kids,
possible.
and like I'm there with my trolley and there's like one guy behind me with a thing of milk, I'm not going to be like, you can go in front of me because I just need to get out of there.
Yeah.
There's like a little old lady or something. It's just situational. It's going to depend
is
on the mood.
situational.
But
Yeah.
like I said, it's not
Yeah.
my fault that you're doing your shopping in dribs and drabs.
Yeah. All right, next one. Regifting. Red light, green light.
Green light.
Green light.
Green light.
Yeah, it depends on the
100%.
gift.
Yeah.
Like
just,
nothing
you got to make sure you don't give it back to
sentimental.
the person that gave it to you.
Exactly. If it's alcohol, like a lot of people give me alcohol for my birthdays. For some reason, they all think I get on it.
Yeah.
I regift that shit constantly.
Oh, yeah,
Like
yeah,
full
yeah.
bottles of tequila.
Yeah. That's a good one to
Yeah,
regift.
alcohol's
Yeah.
like champagne I've re-gifted or like
Yeah.
a nice red wine.
I win stuff at races and I'll regift
Oh,
it.
that's clever.
If
Yeah.
people give me like, I remember once the same person gifted me hand cream 3 times and I'm like,
So hand cream's
I
a
don't
really
use-
good one. Those like packs of like
yeah, to
Yeah.
give,
more
to,
that
give to your
brand.
nan at
Yeah,
Christmas.
I think
Yeah.
those little hampers. My dad got me
Yeah.
one for
Like
Christmas and I was like, bro,
Yeah.
Yeah.
what?
Yeah, for sure. I'm
Yeah.
okay with it.
Yeah, I have been very upset one time because someone gave me something that I knew that they got given to them and they hated it and thought it was really ugly.
But did you like it?
No, it was hideous and I was very upset.
I mean, I think re-gifting, if you're re-gifting appropriately, like not if
Yeah.
you're trying to get rid of something shit.
Yeah.
Asking people to try on the clothes that they're selling on the Facebook Marketplace.
It depends.
I think
I don't think there's anything wrong with it.
it's price dependent.
Yeah. If it's like
If
a
it's
$10
under-
shirt, fucking take it.
No, it's
Yeah.
a big red light for me because I'm selling like a Kukai 2-piece set.
Oh, if they're brand new, that's definitely a red light.
Yeah, it's new. It's got
As
tags
in you
on
say
it.
Yeah.
they can't try it on.
Yeah, but to be fair, you try it on a shop
I think
too.
it's
I'm torn.
asking the red light. Asking is the red light, green light. So
I
like,
think
is it
if it's-
okay to ask someone?
I think if it's an expensive
ask, yeah.
item, yes. If it's a cheap item, no.
People
thing-
try on my wetsuits. Like when I sell wetsuits, they always want to try them on to make sure they're okay.
But wetsuits,
fine.
yeah.
Wetsuit's probably the grubbiest thing too ever because you don't like wash a wetsuit.
Yeah.
It's just
Yeah.
rubber. You just wash it with fresh water.
But it's like, you need it to sort of fit you.
Exactly,
well.
you need it to fit you. But
Yeah.
same thing with
That's
expensive
what I was
clothing.
thinking, like a nice dress or something.
But my
You want
thing's
it
a
to
red
not
light
fit
because
you.
like it's creepy. I don't want randoms coming
Yeah.
into my house trying on my clothes.
yeah. To be
And-
fair, I think a lot of people buying secondhand clothes probably know they want that exact thing.
Yeah.
And they just want it a bit cheaper.
And just like go try it on. So the girl
Yeah, go
who
try it on
messaged
shops.
me and said, "Can I please come try this on?" I said, "You're welcome to go and try it on in store." And
But also, what if they like ripped it or something? While
exactly,
trying
or
on?
they
That
get
would-
makeup on it.
It's not like a shop. Exactly.
Yeah, you
The
can't just
makeup's
go and
bad.
fix that. The makeup is the worst.
Yeah.
I think dealing with people on Facebook Marketplace.
Oh,
That's just
So
a red flag in
painful.
general. I hate dealing with people.
Well, she then argued back at me and I said, if you buy it and it doesn't fit, just resell it. You can probably sell it for more than I'm selling it to you. So big red light. for
Touchy
me.
subject, but yeah.
Red light or green light? What is it? You have to answer.
I don't know.
Green. Price dependent.
Orange?
Orange.
Okay.
If
I
it's
say
cheap,
orange.
just get a life. I've bought heaps of stuff that don't fit me. And if it's expensive,
Try it at the shops.
this is a really rogue one that I put in there, but I feel really strongly about this.
This is funny.
Mexican waves at sporting events.
Green light?
Red light.
Red light.
Why?
Fuck them off.
One,
We're
it's
there
stupid.
to watch the sport.
We're there to watch the sport. I asked Andrea, who is Spanish, if she even knew what it was, and she was like, they don't even do it.
Maybe it shouldn't be called a Mexican wave.
It is
Maybe
so
that's
annoying.
incorrect.
And then there's always one drunk idiot that's like
Ruins it.
hell-bent to make the Mexican wave happen. And they'll be like, Mexican wave! And they'll
Yeah.
just be screaming that for 30 minutes when you're trying to watch the sport. And then people are watching the Mexican wave go around.
Yeah.
And they're not watching the sport. I think it's dumb, and I think people should stop doing it. And if you want to watch a sport, watch a sport.
My thing is
I feel
that
very strongly about
Very
this.
strongly.
I think if you're doing it in half time and it's led
Nobody
by...
does it in halftime.
Yeah, the whole,
They
yeah,
do.
no.
The only
they don't.
time I'm thinking of it is when
No.
it's led by like the commentators at the cricket during...
Oh, they like put it
Oh,
on.
yeah,
I've
thinking
never
of the
watched
Big
cricket, so I
Bash.
got no
Yeah,
idea.
but
The Big
The Big
Bash
Bash.
is a... The
And
Big
I'm
Bash is
thinking
a production for kids.
That's what I... Okay,
Like-
so this is the only context I was thinking of is
But I
Big
love the Big
Bash.
Bash.
I was thinking
But I
Big
don't-
Bash.
I've never watched cricket.
I was
ever.
thinking Big Bash, kids, cute, fun, entertaining.
No, we're talking
But
about
I see
real
your
sports.
point.
Yeah, we're talking
I-
about adults.
I agree with you.
Real
now.
sports. The-
Real sports?
Cricket's not a real sport.
No, but
Kev's gonna not.
Big
Kev's
Bash
gonna
is
do.
a real sport, but it's also like it's a production for
entertainment.
children.
It's the only cricket I would watch. Too.
I love the Big Bash.
Yeah.
and
I've
I think
never-
that those are fun. They do like
We should go together.
They do kiss cam.
I will not be going.
They do. You would. It's actually
I don't
very
understand
fun.
sports that don't end, like
So
have
I
no
don't
ending.
understand-
No, it's 2020.
What's that mean?
It's fast paced.
It ends. It has an ending.
Yeah,
It's not
cool.
test. And
And
test
it's
matches
quick.
do end.
No, never.
It's not like Quidditch.
I don't. It doesn't end until someone
I
dies.
feel
Someone catches the golden snitch.
Exactly.
I feel the same
I've been
way.
reading Harry Potter.
All right.
Okay. Thank you for tuning into today's episode. So I wrote in the script, we will share Kiali's Insta on her so that you can follow along to her surfing progress and her generally unhinged content. And then she did something unhinged. And at trivia, we go
I think
to...
this is cute though.
It's dumb.
It suits me, I
We
reckon.
went to
does
trivia.
suit you.
I was so steamed about this. There was something about a spider and what the spider was called, and the spider is called Sparkle Muffin.
It's cute.
And then Kiali said, I'm going to change my handle to Sparkle Muffin. So, where can we find you, Kiali?
At Sparkle Muffins with a Z _.
So cute.
Because Sparkle Muffin was taken.
You should get a tattoo of a muffin that's sparkly.
Oh, done. I don't need much excuse to get a tattoo. Eh? But also, I'm petrified of
Ooh, a
spiders.
little muffin with some little... I can
Little
see
You could do a
muffin.
spider,
But also-
and then its back is a muffin with sparkles on
Yeah,
it.
but also the Sparkle Muffin spider is so cute.
It is cute.
It like goes
Yeah,
like
I
this.
think I know which one.
and it's colourful.
Magnolia is obsessed with spiders.
Good on her.
And snakes.
Because
obsessed.
it has stemmed into some deep fear for me over the years. So make sure she stays like that.
Yeah, she wants a pet tarantula, but they're not legal
Oh.
in Australia. We hope you enjoyed today's episode and we'd love you to share it with someone that you think might enjoy it too.
To work with myself on your health and fitness or with Alex on podcasting, please reach out to us via Instagram. You can find our handles in the podcast page's bio at Bread and Better Podcast.
Thank you. Thanks, Kiali.
Thank you.
Thanks, Sparkle Muffin.